Coming to the cage now for this 155-pound affair is 27-year-old Dellwuan Macon from Winnetka, California, fighting with King's MMA. His primary original background is Jeet Kune Do, the intercepting fist. So far, 0 wins, 3 losses. But we have to expect with the kind of experience he has that he's getting ready to turn that kind of thing around.
Yeah, I saw him. Speaking of the Jeet Kune Do intercepting fist, before the fight, he was rocking some Jeet Kune Do clothing and looking all Jeet Kune Do-like. I like that. I'm a big fan of that because it shows that, you know, he's keeping the traditional martial arts alive, and he, you know, I'm just a big fan of that part of the sport.
Now, Macon, again, has those 3 losses, but he does have loads of potential, lots of Pankration experience, including most recently a 3rd place at Grappling X in this last February. He's a really talented striker, really powerful, very creative, but not a lot of movement. He's a very unorthodox striker. He kind of sits back and waits to counter-strike.
That has its you know, its pros and its cons, you know, to either stand there or, you know, engage and bang. We'll see how it looks.
His opponent, Tommy the Spaniard Aaron.
And in the red corner, 18 years young Tommy Edwards from Elite Training Center here in Los Angeles. From the hometown of Redondo Beach, Tommy has 2 wins and no losses. So far, both those wins in under 18 fights, meaning he wore headgear for those 2. But now this is his first time taking the helmet off and really engaging.
Yeah, it's you know, there is a little difference when you do take as what you call the helmet off, and you know, things become a little more real. You know, strikes become you feel them a little more, but also you do feel a little more free, and you feel that you're actually fighting, that you're not like, yo, I don't need no padding. That's how you feel when you take it off. So we'll see if he can transition out of that. I'm sure he spars sometimes without headgear, as you have to when you prepare for an MMA fight. Even though, you know, some gyms won't allow you to just like do any sparring without headgear. When you prepare, you have to take it off sometimes for medium sparring.
Well, it's an interesting question for this fight because Dellwuan Macon, you know, all 3 of those losses, none of them are finishes. They're all decisions. We talked before about that sort of slow style. He throws in low volume, but very dangerous when he does throw. But that's probably been troublesome for him in these short 2-minute rounds, whereas Tommy Edwards is a high output guy. Really energetic, quick, light on his feet. So that's going to be the big question, is can Macon land that big shot versus the high output of Tommy Edwards?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is our co-main event of the evening, scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the 155-pound division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a limitless style fighter. He comes to the cage with a record of no wins and 3 losses. He stands at 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighed in at 156 pounds, representing NZT Pankration from Koreatown, California, Dellwuan Macon. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, a Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner making his MMA debut. He stands at 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighing at 153.4 pounds. Fighting with Elite Training Center from Palma de Mallorca, España, Tommy the Spaniard Aaron. Man in charge of the action, Rafael Davis.
Let's get ready for this 155-pound fight between Dellwuan Macon in the blue corner and Tommy Edwards in the red corner. The cage is locked, the stage is set. It starts here. Both fighters come out fast, touching gloves and wasting no time. And look at the higher level of output from Dellwuan Macon. Lands a right head kick. Beautiful connection. Tommy clearing the cobwebs, still staying salient though, turning that into a wrestling match. What a strike there from Macon early on.
Beautiful, beautiful kick. I think he was kind of smiling after when he was clinching. I think he was like, that's a really good kick I just did. But look at him, he gets himself almost into side control. Pretty good transitions on the ground, looks so far. Now we have Tommy Edwards here working which was somewhat of a butterfly guard. He got it back. He's going to probably look for a sweep or a Kimura. Right now it seemed like he's reaching for the Kimura, and he has it locked.
Edwards really, really giving all the way into that arm. You know, the big question here, Dellwuan Macon, we don't know a lot about his ground game. We've seen his stand-up game so far. Macon doing a good job defending, cleaning a circle. These guys just really trying to find position. You know, you got to wonder, is Edwards, and now he lets go. You know, was he overcommitting to that arm there a little bit?
Yes and no. You know, you can commit to it and it'll hold you in position, save you some time, take away the guy's power arm, and maybe give you something to transition to.
And now Edwards making his way to his feet. Edwards with a pretty good grappling background, 3rd place this year at the LA International Open in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So lots of competition experience there. And that big dump you just saw. Both these guys really showing some impressive techniques.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, great takedown.
And a wonderful reversal from Macon. Really impressive round from both fighters. I mean, you gotta love the way they came out firing early. That right head kick landing and dropping Edwards early on, but the wherewithal of the young fighter to turn this into a grappling match.
Yeah, I think that was a smart thing, because you get kicked in the head, so turn a little bit grappling match. But I liked what I saw this fight. I think both guys look really, really well-rounded. I really like Dellwuan. He looked like very good composure when he got caught in the Kimura. Did a good job of passing out to the side, making the Kimura obsolete and getting his arm back. And he just looks a little more composed. You know, losing 3 fights but all decisions, he got a lot of time out there. So, just because you lost, you learn something out of that.
You know, that's one of the good things is when a fighter at the amateur level doesn't take the win-loss record as seriously, but instead takes it as what am I learning from each fight, you can really see someone progress leaps and bounds. And that might be what we're seeing from Dellwuan Macon so far. We talked before about that slow counter-striking style, and look at the big difference. Just bam, right out the gate, throwing punches, throwing kicks.
You know, there's a difference between losing and then losing your focus and your heart and stuff. If you let that get broken, you can never get that back.
Round 2, an inside leg kick, finds a little height.
He definitely hit the inside leg.
And now look at this, Tommy Edwards not scared from the last round from that big kick. He's throwing again, throwing quickly, throwing powerfully, and now transitioning very nicely to the mount.
Great job getting them out. He might lose it though, and there he is, back in guard. Sometimes you gotta settle down when you mount someone. You can get really excited, but it's a really easy position to get bumped off of if your weight's in the wrong direction.
Well, don't forget, Tommy Edwards only 18 years old, so a little easy to get overexcited when you're younger and newer to the fight game.
Definitely. But he's got a good composure to him. He's got a beautiful scissor sweep. That was very, very nice.
Both these guys showing a good variety of techniques. Now we have Tommy Edwards trying to hold on to the back here of Dellwuan Macon.
Here he is mounted one more time. See if he can get out of this again.
And there, the squirreliness of the wrestling of Dellwuan Macon. That's a number of times now he's escaped from really seemingly difficult positions.
But starting to look tired. I gotta say, a little bit of fatigue is keeping a super high pace. You see when he got up, his hands were dropped.
Yeah, you saw him go back into that grappling, which, considering the success he's had striking so far, you gotta wonder, like you said before, if maybe that's a fatigue thing. A couple big right hands landing from Edwards. Edwards doing a good job of taking advantage of the opportunity to do damage here from the mount.
Doing a good job bumping his hip. Probably gonna get out of the round, and you're gonna see a round 3 from these guys.
Another really close round. But I think that in the end, you have to give this one to Tommy Edwards. The higher output, the more danger that he put Dellwuan in.
Oh, that was definitely Tommy Edwards' round. He mounted him twice, hurt him, got dominant position over and over again. may have gotten a little reversal here and there, but beautiful sweep. That's a dominant, at least, that's a full point round in my mind.
So what are you telling Dellwuan right now if you're in his corner?
You're telling him to come out strong, stay a little bit out of certain, I would say keep the fight standing, keep your distance, or try to avoid the clinch as much as you can. You're probably down half a point right now, I would say. So you at least have to win this round, possibly get a draw. So you could have a draw here, but I would say, let the hands go, but be careful when throwing the kicks of giving up takedowns and just be heavy on top.
Important note talking about the cardio of Dellwuan Macon today. Dellwuan came in at the early weigh-in 1 pound overweight and had to spend an hour cutting that last pound. It's only a pound, but you never know how much having to do that just a few hours before a fight might affect you.
Totally.
Oh, a big left and a right from Dellwuan, and he flies all over Tommy Edwards. Tommy was rocked there for a moment. Dellwuan just came in big, but now Tommy's getting an opportunity to recover here on the ground.
There's a plus minus there. Great job landing that big strike. Bad job of flying at the guy. Compose, stand back, realize you hurt the guy, and then pick your shots.
And here's Dellwuan in the place he doesn't want to be, on the bottom, taking potential damage here from Tommy Edwards.
Exactly. That's something they're going to look at and say, that was the chance right there. That was the one. It's only been about 30 seconds since Tommy's been rocked, and you could show that you could rock him. So Dellwuan's got to get back to his feet and try to land some strikes again. He can't engage in this grappling match because he may not get submitted, but time's going to get ran out and he's going to lose.
And there goes Edwards once again with that mount. But Dellwuan doing a good job trying to replace the guard or get a sweep.
Now Dellwuan needs to use this underhook, post the hand to the mat, and get back up to his feet. He needs to, right here, realize that he's next to the cage, get closer and work your way back up. No matter how exhausting it is, get back up because you're going to lose in this position.
Tommy Edwards staying tight. He has to, with whatever faculties he has after taking those big shots, he has to be aware that this is the best place for him. He's winning the fight in this position. Tommy, again, trying to continue to move forward, nearly has that back leg out, throwing some knees there to soften up Macon, see if he can pull that leg through.
Yeah, 15 seconds here. Got to get back to your feet or pull off a submission here.
A big right hand from Edwards. Another big left from Edwards. Time running short. Can one of them make a decisive move? And that's the end of our fight. A real back and forth affair between these two. You had the power strikes of Dellwuan Macon. You got to respect those kicks and those punches, but also respect the composure of the 18-year-old Tommy Edwards.
Oh, super, super composed. There's a different generation starting up in mixed martial arts. Guys that are growing up, because you learn a lot by watching. So this guy Tommy is 18 years old. MMA got popular probably when he was 7 or 8 years old. That's when it really started to come into its own. And these younger kids, they seem to make a little less mistakes because there's so much good MMA on TV that they kind of know what to do. When you want to emulate certain fighters, you know what mistakes and what good things they do, and you try to copy that.
Well, you got to think about that mentality, the ability to really analyze the game and think of it in real time. If there's one knock you might have on Dellwuan, it's decision making. Because here's a guy who's clearly outclassing his opponent on the feet, and we have that 1-2 that drops Edwards in the third round. I'd love to see him take a page from Pius's book and back out.
Exactly, and it was not, I would say, hard to watch. He took a risk, but he rocked Tommy Edwards and then flies in with no avail. You got to realize you hurt the guy, evaluate the situation, and choose your shots and try to land your strikes and be smart about where you're going to take this fight. Realize you got the guy hurt, and that's your chance to win the fight. Take it from there, and don't try to do anything too crazy.
Two really talented young men. Dellwuan Macon, a fantastic striker. We saw a number of those things. He's really accurate. That's what impressed me about Macon, was that when he was throwing, he was connecting. It wasn't a lot of wasted strikes. We talked before in the pack about him being creative, not a lot of movement waiting to counter strike. But here he showed he really can use that striking offensively rather than defensively.
Yeah, the couple of things I would say is, be a little smarter when you pick your stuff. he did get mounted a bunch of times, so you know, you get mounted, that's a danger zone. That's the worst place you want to be. So, you know, like I said, amateurs, you know, a lot to work on, and you know.
Well, what's going to take the win here? The
ladies and
striking
gentlemen,
of
after 3
Macon
rounds
or
of
the
action,
wrestling
we
of
got a judges'
Edwards?
scorecard. All 3 judges scored the fight the same, 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision. Out of the red corner, Tommy the Spaniard Heron.
Hi, Tommy. Congratulations. How you feeling?
I feel great.
Did you expect your debut match to be such a battle?
Yeah.
All right, no surprise, it was.
Yes.
How badly were you hurt by that punch in the 3rd round?
I didn't even notice it until you just said. So.
Well, you were punched in the 3rd round. We were all worried for you for a second.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, thanks.
It was good stuff, though. You want to say thank you to all your friends and fans that came out to train with you?
Elite Training Center! I want to say thank you to my coaches very much. I want to thank Travis Williams in the crowd with the jiu-jitsu, Shihan Brian Roshback, Josiah Doby, Roman Todorovic, and I want to thank Sharp, Treatment of the South Bay, for keeping me from getting injured for once. And I want to say congratulations to Joe Bell, Pino, and Andres for passing their black belt tests.
I don't think you could have asked for a better debut here in camo. It was a great fight. What else do you have to say?
There's a good-looking group of people out here.
You know, the U of MMA has a lot of good-looking people here. We like to keep it classy.
They do. You guys look great.
Give it up for your winner, Tommy Edwards!
Your winner by unanimous decision, Tommy Edwards.